Salabona beloveds, thank you for checking out my channel, Doing It with Denniston. My name is Michael Denniston. I'm a longtime entrepreneur and real estate professional. Today I want to share with you why lower rates could mean higher home prices and what you can do about it. All right, so if you're one of millions of Americans who's either been priced out of the market over the last 2 years or maybe sitting on the sidelines waiting and hoping, praying for rates to come down, for prices to come down. You know, recently, as I'm taping this video, it's July 2024, we have gotten some good news. We've seen some signals in the marketplace that suggest that the Feds could start lowering rates as early as September. Now, these are just signals, there are no guarantees. But if that were to happen, counterintuitively, it could actually mean higher home prices. And here's why. As I said before, there's been millions of buyers priced out of the market and just a lot of buyers that can afford to buy at today's rates and prices, but are simply just waiting, hoping for rates to come down, prices to come down. When those rates finally do start coming down, a lot of those buyers are going to come rushing back into the market. And one of the things that we're not talking about in the media in general is that one of the biggest drivers of high home prices today are not just mortgage rates, it's low inventory. There simply aren't enough sellers to provide enough listings for the buyers who want to purchase homes, whether they're purchasing a home to live there or for investment purposes. Most of the United States continues to be a seller's market. It's not the seller's market it was, a year and a half ago, a year ago, where we had, multiple home offers and people waiting online for open houses and even bidding over list price, but it's still a seller's market. So that's number one. When rates start to come down, much of the demand that has been sitting on the sidelines is going to come rushing back into the market, and that could push up prices. Number two, even if prices don't get pushed up, right? If not enough buyers come back to the market to actually drive prices up, still with super low inventory that we have now, chances are it's still going to be more buyers than sellers. So what that will mean is that sellers will be less flexible. So one of the big components of purchasing a home is not just the purchase price. It's also things like closing costs. Depending on the type of mortgage you're getting, the state, the city that you're purchasing the property in, closing costs could run anywhere from 3 or 4% of the purchase price to, in some cases, 6% of the purchase price. So if a home costs, let's just say $400,000, you could be looking at anywhere from $16,000 to $24,000 in closing costs. But let's say the closing costs are roughly about $16,000, okay? So in a normal market, as a buyer, you can negotiate with the seller for the seller to help with those closing costs, and the seller might cover up to 50% of the closing costs might be included in the purchase price of the home. In some cases, if the seller is motivated enough, they may cover all of the closing costs included in the purchase price. But when those rates come down and more buyers come into the market, sellers will be less incentivized to negotiate about things like credits for closing costs or even credits to make repairs in the home, which is a common thing you can usually negotiate. Why? Because there more than likely will be more buyers than sellers, so you'll be competing against other buyers for the same property. All right, so that's two reasons why lower rates could mean higher prices, and if not higher prices, it could mean less flexibility with sellers to help you with closing costs, any repairs that need to be made in the home, etc. So now let's talk about what you can do about it. Well, again, if you are on the sidelines and just kind of waiting for prices to come down, but you've been pre-approved. You qualify to purchase a home at today's rates, at today's prices, but of course you like to wait and see if you can get a bargain, right? Well, why not consider purchasing now? And here's why. there's no guarantee that the Feds are going to start lowering rates in September or even later this year. The Feds don't know when they're going to start lowering rates. As they say, they're data dependent. So it really depends on what happens with the economy on a month-to-month basis. So you could be waiting. I mean, over the last couple of years, a lot of people have predicted we're going to see a recession, we're going to see our housing market crash, and none of those things have happened. Nobody can predict what's going to happen in the market, in the short term. Sure, people can get lucky with their predictions from time to time, but no one can predict consistently what's going to happen in the housing market, nor in the stock market. So again, if you can afford to buy today, consider purchasing now. And here's why, right? You can refinance. We do know that at some point the Feds have to lower rates. Whatever goes up has to come down. We just don't know when. So rather than sitting on the sidelines, if you found a property, it's the right fit for you and your family, you can afford it at today's rates, at today's prices. You're not locked into whatever mortgage you get today. And this is particularly true if you're purchasing the home to live in the home and you plan to be there a number of years. Then more than likely, at some point over the next 6 months, maybe the next 3 months, maybe the next year or 2 years, we will see rates start to come down, because rates at the current level we know are unsustainable. It will over time drive the economy into a recession, and nobody wants to see that. Beloveds, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please like, share, and follow me on other social channels as well. Also, if you have any comments on this video, I'd love to hear them, or any suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the future. I'd welcome those as well. Remember, we are blessed to be a blessing and a fragrance, starting in our families and then moving out into the world. Until next time, beloveds, peace.